everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for coming and spending your Wednesday afternoon with the Breast Cancer Early Detection Coalition. We are so excited that you are here. We'll just give a few moments for people to continue to join. And while we're doing that, we want to acknowledge that the Breast Cancer Early Detection Coalition is a part of the Women's Health Advocates. And we do have, are blessed and lucky enough to have people from every state. And we just want to acknowledge that there's a lot going on in the country right now, especially down in the South, in Texas, and with the new flooding that was announced today in New Mexico. And just, want to acknowledge that. We don't know who's on the call today, but there are cancer patients everywhere. So, and women everywhere. So we want to make sure that we are just holding space for those people that might be in need today. So I think, given that, I think that we are ready to get started. I'm Vanessa Walker. If for those of you that don't know me, I am a proud co-founder of the coalition. And we have a lot to get through today. So I'm super excited to introduce our fearless leader, Liz Powell, and she's going to kick things off with some DC updates. We're going to have a Make It Personal with one of our coalition leaders, Meredith Singer, some really important advocacy actions, and then some upcoming events uh, that we're excited for you to participate in. So Liz, kick it off.
Thank you
Next
so
slide.
much. Thank you all for dialing in. If you're hearing some noise, I apologize. I'm on the hill right now in a corner, trying to find a quiet corner, but it's not quiet. So apologize. But great to see folks. Great to see so many dial in and be part of this community that's advancing the health of women and focused on breast cancer. So my role is to share DC updates. And so the DC updates that we have are, you all saw the slides, maybe could come up, please. Uh, the tax reconciliation bill just became law. So the One Big Beautiful Bill Act just became law, and that includes $1 trillion worth of cuts to Medicaid. And so that will be very severe. I think that will be felt, and parts of it are implemented 2026, parts implemented 2028. There's related to that, the Affordable Care Act provisions are not extended. So there's huge challenges with that as far as health access as well. So it is a tricky time right now, but now that that is done, they are moving back to the appropriations process for FY 2026, which starts on October 1st of this year. So the House has been ahead of the Senate, which is normal. They've been moving some of the bills. There's still many more to go. There's 12 total in the House and then 12 companion ones in the Senate. So we are tracking that and to see how that impacts women's health. And then we're simultaneously pushing for breast cancer bills, which are in the next slide. And these are all the bills that we'll be pushing when we go to Capitol Hill. And we also are promoting just increased funding overall for breast cancer research. There is a funding line both in NIH as well as DoD for breast cancer research. And at a time where we've had these NIH cuts, it's been very, very tricky. Some of those cuts were actually breast cancer research projects, which is crazy. And then also with the firings at HHS, that is impacting things as well. And the Supreme Court just came out with a ruling that the administration does have the authority to do all these cuts, which is very frustrating. So it is definitely a challenging time. But I think us shifting to these breast cancer bills that are mostly authorization bills is actually an opportunity, given that so much is happening with appropriations and the budget. For these to be authorization bills is like a new category for these offices to address. So I do think that there's some opportunity there. And you can see the list of all the bills. So the Budget Early Act is our number one bill. It's been introduced in the Senate by Marshall and Klobuchar, and we are advocating for as many co-sponsors for that as possible. The House version is not going to get introduced until the fall during Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but we will be talking about that as well with House members. And then these other bills: Access to Breast Cancer Detection Act, Education and Awareness Requires Learning Young Act, Early Act, Metastatic Breast Cancer Access to Care Act, Screening for Communities to Receive Early and Equitable Needed Services for Cancer Act, the Screen Cancer Act, the Triple Negative Breast Cancer Research and Education Act, and finally the Women Veterans Cancer Care Coordination Act. So those are all the bills that we'll be lobbying for next week on July 16th. So those are my updates on what's happening in Washington and what we're working on. Super excited to see folks next week. I think it's going to be a great day. And we have a wonderful surprise to share with you that hopefully inspires you for our big day next week and for future Capitol Hill days. I have to say, these Capitol Hill days are going so well. We are working on planning many more. So if you haven't come yet, you definitely need to come join us next time. And with that, I'll pass it back to Vanessa.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I mean, so many updates, so much to keep track of. So thankful that you are here to guide us through all of those. I am really excited right now to introduce all of you to someone who I've had the pleasure of getting to know over the last handful of months, and even had the pleasure of sharing a coffee with face to face, which in these days is amazing because we don't always get to do that. And that is Meredith Singer. She is not only an incredible woman advocate. She is someone who is a seasoned advocate and lobbyist here in Washington, D.C., but she is also a survivor and thriver. And we are so blessed that she has decided to share her lived expertise with us today. So I'm just going to let you take it away,
Thank
Meredith.
you. Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you, Liz. Thanks, everybody, for just giving me a few minutes to introduce myself to you, tell you a bit about my background, and tell you about my story, and now what is driving me forward as I continue on over these next couple of years throughout this journey of mine. So, as Vanessa mentioned, I am a professional lobbyist. I've been living and working in DC for the better part of 30 years, and started my career doing international policy, working for a few trade associations before I landed my first big corporate lobbying job at IBM. And I just wanted to share a little bit about this part of my story before I go into my breast cancer story with you, just to provide some other context. So at IBM, I was fortunate enough to work on this basket of policy issues that we call human resource policy issues, and included everything from diversity, equity, inclusion, labor, employment, immigration, healthcare benefits, retirement benefits, executive compensation, all of that, all of those issues, and worked really closely with our HR department and our HR legal function. And from there, went over to work for HP, the computer company, and ran federal government affairs there for about 2 years. And then in the last year, I joined a new company. It's a new old company called GE Vernova. We are the industrial energy spinoff of General Electric, one of the 3 spinoffs of GE. There's GE Healthcare, GE Vernova, and GE Aerospace. And I have been managing tax policy for GE Vernova since I was hired. That's my day job. So as we were talking about, all of the work going on in the One Big Beautiful Bill Act has been taking up quite a bit of my time. But on a personal note, back in August of 22, in fact, it was August 24th of 2022, I received my own diagnosis of breast cancer. And I had been someone who was always going for my annual mammograms. I don't have a particular family history of breast cancer, and I was 51 at the time of my diagnosis, so I wasn't particularly young, sort of right in that sweet spot that we hear a lot of us being diagnosed of breast cancer in that age group. But like I said, I've been going every year, even through COVID, for my annual mammograms. And it just so happened that it was that particular year of 2022 when I received that call back from the radiologist saying, "We need you to come back. We're not sure if we found something." And within a week or so, they confirmed that something that they saw on the imaging. And then, of course, as many of us who've been through this know, it started off a process of so much additional imaging and testing to get to the true diagnosis of early stage 1 breast cancer, HR positive, HER2 negative. And, was fortunate enough to then have surgery in October of that year. And I say fortunate enough because I had a lumpectomy followed by just radiation. And my oncotype score, for those of us that know about these things, it was fairly low. So they said that I didn't need chemotherapy. So I considered myself extremely lucky and had my month of radiation through December of that year. And that was the end of the formal treatment. And now I'm on my daily regimen of tamoxifen. And so that is how I first encountered breast cancer on a very personal level. I was very lucky too, in that, again, didn't have a family history of it, but was very fortunate enough that it was caught early. And because I'm a professional lobbyist, it got me thinking that why should I not use my resources and my expertise and my time to help advocate, not just for myself, but for other similarly situated women. And having been a professional lobbyist for so many years, I had never been able to lobby for myself. I'd always been the one organizing fly-ins for other people to come in and talk on behalf of corporate policy priorities. But then, having had that lived experience of cancer, really wanted to take my advocacy to the next level. So I started getting involved in some of the volunteer organizations through which you can lobby as a survivor, thriver, and advocate. And it was just a few months ago that I came to know Liz and was introduced to Vanessa and came to understand that there's this breast cancer early detection coalition and women's health advocates. And it has just fueled me, I will share with you, because I am so honored and so proud to be able to share my own story, as well as to advocate for all of this important research, funding for current treatments, raising awareness about the fact that cancer is indiscriminate and it affects so many of us. And so it really is an honor and a privilege for me to be able to be here with you today. I'm super excited about joining our group next week on the Hill as well. And really my goal is to move into this kind of advocacy full time, to be fully transparent with everybody. Now that I've had the ability to work for a variety of companies, work on lots of different corporate issues, this is really my passion. And I'm just so privileged and honored to be amongst all of you, and really look forward to working more closely with each of you. So thank you for giving me a few minutes of your time.
Oh. Thank you, Meredith. Thank you for not only sharing your, personal experience with us, but also your professional knowledge. I mean, I learned so much in just the lunch we had about lobbying from your perspective and advocating from your perspective. And that is something that's so, so helpful. And I also want to acknowledge that so often if we if someone has been diagnosed with cancer early, it's like we say, well, I'm lucky, yes, that is true. And cancer changes your life forever. Doesn't matter
Forever.
when you're diagnosed. And
Right.
so the journey, as you know, begins often after treatment finishes.
Right.
So thank you.
Really after surgery, I think, and that's
Really.
something that became so apparently clear to me before having been a cancer uh, patient, never realized that the surgery was just the beginning
Hmm.
of the journey. And that is something that sticks with me day in and day out. I proudly wear all of my ribbons and my pink bracelets, and I proudly tell people that I am a breast cancer survivor, to raise awareness and to share that the concerns and the worries that we experience, they don't ever go away. They may kind of ebb and flow, but they're always there, and we just need to continue fighting so that we can lessen the burden for people down the line.
Yes, 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 yes. And that is why we are all here today. So thank you so much. And that is a perfect segue into our next section of today's presentation, which is really talking about um, all of all the things that are happening advocacy related with women's health advocates and the Breast Cancer Early Detection Coalition. So next slide. So the first thing, obviously, we're all talking about is the July 16 Capitol Hill Day, which we're super, super excited about. As you see, we have t-shirts that everyone will be wearing, and we'll be doing a private advocacy training and lunch, congressional meetings that the G2G team is really working to get set up. Those things can be very last minute. And so they're working very, very hard to get all of the meetings set up for next week. And then we'll be finishing off the day with the Congressional Women's Softball game. We're also really excited that Ruth McDonald is going to be joining us for our advocacy training, as well as Meredith will be there. But Ruth McDonald is the health policy advisor for Senator Amy Klobuchar's office. And for those of you who aren't familiar with Senator Klobuchar, her office, she co-sponsored the Find It Early Act with Senator Roger Marshall. And we are so excited that she will be here to be there to share with us a little bit about, from her perspective, from the other side of the desk, what it's like when we come in and what this process is all about. But we wanted to also let you know that even though registration is closed for next week, you can still speak up. And you can do that by writing a letter. So we want you all to know that you can contact your member of Congress, and we've made it pretty seamless for you to be able to do that. Right now, there are 7 bipartisan bills that could do the following. Number one, guarantee coverage for diagnostic screenings, including supplemental screening beyond a mammogram, which is essential for 40 to 50% of all women. Ensure metastatic patients get the care and benefits they need. Coordinate research and development advancements to treat triple negative cancer. Improve access to screenings for veterans and people with dense breasts. And those are just some of, the amazing things that these bills could do. And you can write a letter today. You can do it by heading to womenshealthadvocates.org. You click on write a letter. The letter is already drafted for you. All of the important information, all of the, details that might be hard to remember is all there for you. What you get to do is you get to tell your personal experience, either with your own diagnosis or perhaps with a diagnosis of someone else that you care about, or even the fact that you're a woman, maybe you have, children, daughters, we all have people in our life that we care about that we want to not have to experience a late stage diagnosis of breast cancer, or cancer at all. So we really, really want to get as many letters as possible put in before next week and then following next week as well. So we hope that you will do that and also share on social media. We will have some posts on social media that you'll be able to share with your communities as well. Next slide. So the next thing is our surprise update, which are highlights of the May 21st Women's Health Capitol Hill Day. And I'm going to let Madeline from G2G take it away and share our next update.
Okay, let me know if you can hear the sound. Hopefully it will work.
Nessa?
Sorry, I was turned off by our co-host, which is good. And that's why we have people behind the scenes to make sure that our faces aren't in the shot when they don't need to be. So I just every time I see the video, which I've seen multiple times now, I get chills because not only was it an incredibly special and encouraging time to be in DC with all of these incredible advocates. But it also reminded me about all of the people that weren't able to come because the impact of the letters that were sent, the things that were shared on social media was felt that day. And I'm just going to let Leslie share, I'm putting her on the spot briefly, um, to to that point because we want to make sure that those of you that are joining this call understand that it's not just about coming to DC. Your voice makes a difference from sitting right behind your computer or picking up the phone. Take it away, Leslie.
So one of the important things we set out to do early on was to secure members across the country in all 50 states, because that is very powerful. It's a powerful message when you get on the Hill. It's a powerful message for each of us. And so in addition to encouraging your friends and colleagues across the country to join, we'd also love for you to be able to partake in events in a variety of different cities. And so we're setting up chapters in cities to do a number of things. I don't know if you were able to attend our call on Monday where we talked about the importance of women's research. That was sponsored and produced, if you will, by our Pittsburgh group. So they decided that this was an important issue and they had the expertise to invite the women's health advocates and breast cancer and everybody who is curious about this issue to a webinar that we opened to all. And in addition, they'll be hosting an event later on in the fall to get the groundswell of excitement of members in the Pittsburgh area. But we're also, in addition to our monthly calls, we're also hosting a number of different events in different cities. And if you would like to become a member of the planning committees in these cities, please let us know. We have a variety of different types of events. We have small dinner events, we have large panels, we have happy hours, and we're looking to our members in those cities to take charge and let us know what their ecosystem would like. Because what we found is when we host these events, that people come who may not be professionally engaged in the women's health space, but who personally have a message and a meaningful connection. And it's expanding our voice across women and men. And you noted there were several pictures of men who attended our May 21st date. Really just makes us stronger. And it allows us to learn from people with various perspectives. And that messaging and that cohesiveness is important. So I encourage you all to reach out to info@womenshealthadvocates.org to let us know if you'd like to be a member of these. And as a very basic step, many of you are already members of the BCEDC, but please join Women's Health Advocates. That way you'll stay up to date on all that's going on. Updates from Liz and her team on Capitol Hill, updates on events that are going on across the country, and updates on conferences where we may be attending, we may be hosting an event, we may be panelists. Let's just build this community and have our voice sing even louder.
Thank you, Leslie. Thank you so much for all that you're doing to rally the groups around the country. I mean, it's a lot of work, and we are so appreciative of that. So, I mean, with that, our 30 minutes has really zoomed by today, literally zoomed by. And we want to make sure that if you have questions, you email us hello at bcearlydetectioncoalition.org. Please sign up for updates, as Leslie said, with both Breast Cancer Early Detection Coalition and Women's Health Advocates. Connect with us on LinkedIn. Also, we have started an Instagram. It is in its infancy. Women's Health Advocates, womenshealth.advocates is the Instagram handle. And don't forget to share your why. Hopefully someone can put that link in the chat. If not, we'll certainly send it out. And this allows you to really just click on the template and put your picture in and share, share why it is that advocating for early detection matters to you. And definitely tag us because we want to be highlighting all of the advocates from across the country. So with that, we don't have a lot of time, but if we have any, do we have any questions that popped up that are timely that we should answer now? I don't know if anyone saw questions in the chat. I didn't see any. Or if anything I'm forgetting from any of my co-founders, leaders, those of you that have your beautiful pictures up, anything that I'm forgetting. If not,
I'll just add a thank you. I saw it light up. I was like, what did you think of the video? And people just wrote all kinds of awesome supportive messages. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. It was a lot of labor. Vanessa and Leslie in particular worked so hard on this video. And so we just want to thank you for your support. We are going to put it on our website. So we want to share that with everyone, get everyone energized to get involved, get active, make a difference, make our voice count. We really can do this. So I'm super excited that you all had a great response to that. So thank you. Back to you, Vanessa. Sorry.
no, thank you, thank you. That's a perfect way to really end today's call. Don't forget that we have a steering committee. Join that call if you're available. And if you're coming next week, check your inbox because we will be sending some updates to make sure that you have all of the information you need. And with that, we will see you next month.